DeWitt Planning Board meeting. We had a work session on September 10th with Sunoco, and we have an expected one on the 24th at South Bay Bank. Any others? Got your schedule? Okay. For Alpha Omega, we have a motion to revise the resolution of August 22nd, 2024 regarding them. Phase 2 to add the following. The timeframe for phase 1 completion is modified from the prior approval to note that phase 1 is to be completed by 2028 and phase 2, which has been permitted to commence prior to the completion of phase 1. That'll be completed after 2028 at a date to be later determined. Objections? Okay, everybody read that? All right, may I have a motion? Okay, Jenny moves second. All in favor? Has everybody read the minutes?
Excuse me, so I'm taking minutes, but I can't hear who's making the motion. So Leah, if you can just write that down, we'll collaborate later. Thank you.
Okay, we all set, Leah?
It was Jenny Reagan
And Kevin.
Kevin.
Okay, so the minutes from the last meeting, may I have a motion to approve? Joe, second? All in favor? Thank you. Okay, first on our agenda tonight is Copper Top Tavern. Someone here?
Good evening,
Name.
Dave Schlosser, Shopper Architects, obviously representing Copper Top Tavern. As suggested at our last planning board meeting, we basically made an application to ZBA for a height variance of this approximately 6 feet 7.5 inches. And we are presenting it on Monday, and we're looking for the planning board support for that. If you want, if anybody isn't aware of what we're doing, I can go through it. If you wish again.
Nothing.
small changes. Do you want to just talk about the small changes?
Sure, would you want to turn on D 1.0? Like you're talking about the site plan changes?
Yeah.
Yes, I was gonna go through those next. So,
Yeah.
The as far as the variance basically is to add the gable roof structure on top of the existing entry. Obviously goes from about 20 foot, 25 foot wide to 0. And as we mentioned to the CBA, it really has no visual effect on any neighbor or any visual barrier on anything on the boulevard. Onondaga County Planning Board also submitted their comments yesterday, and with no position. And DOT said basically the same thing. As far as the site changes, the biggest site change we're proposing, and if you go to C 1.2. There you go. There was a lot of discussion at the last meeting about the driveway in front of the facility and basically choking it down so it looked one way. The more we looked at it, when we talked to the owners, we said if it gets to that point, we just soon get rid of it and give a better presentation to the entire restaurant. And that's what has been submitted and is being proposed. You've got the west entry and the east curb cut. And you basically have parking on all sides. You can get around the back of the building. It gives us a much better presentation in this area as a 5 feet. Yeah. 5 feet here. Now DOT has, excuse me, Onondaga County Planning has suggested that we continue a connection between this sidewalk and the municipal sidewalk. That will, since the application or the comments came in yesterday, we really didn't have a chance to modify it, but we will. Then we'll make a connection between here and there along the west side. We did today submit that modification as well as planning board had asked us to submit the photometrics to DOT. That was submitted today. So we would expect to get comments back from them within the next several weeks on both of those issues.
And just to clarify, the county modified it to modifications for the lighting plan for the DOT, so that's in process. The second one was if they require SWIFT to get that to county web, but because they're not disturbing over an acre, they don't need to do a SWIFT, so that one doesn't really matter. And then the comments were, copies encouraged to ensure appropriate access agreements are in place within the driveway, which we've already done. And then the comment about the sidewalk. And to the sidewalk.
The other comments that were made at the planning board meeting, which we've addressed, the window awnings, which not having basically fabric awnings, the awnings are existing, they're in great shape. We're not proposing to modify them, so we haven't really made any modification to the with respect to that. There was some soffit lighting, which I guess had been added at some point by the previous owners. It hadn't been approved. Our drawings that we resubmitted show that lighting basically. There was a question about the materials on the holding area in the back. Our drawings have basically now been modified to reflect standing seam metal dark gray roof on it, and the siding on it is to match the existing addition in the rear, which is a horizontal siding. And I think those were, other than the photometrics, which we put photometrics for not only the lights that were going on the back, but we added the photometrics for the ornamental wall sconces that are going on the front, which basically had virtually no impact on anything beyond 5 to 10 feet from the building. And I think that pretty much summarizes the modifications that we made.
Sorry.
Yes, if you turn to the elevation sheet, which is next one more down. Two more down. Right there. Right in here.
Yeah.
Horizontal siding. And that basically is the same siding as the rear addition that was put on years ago by the previous owners. Just clear what's.
All right, so there's a motion to recommend that the zoning board of appeals grant a height variance for the building set forth in their application to allow for a variance of in height of building 6 feet, 7.5 inches, is that correct? The code at 192-50H determines the height in relation to the front property line to be a maximum allowable of 19 feet 9 inches. The proposed height is 26 feet 4.5 inches. It is recommended that the height variance be limited to only a portion of the building as shown to have the access height as per the site plan which is submitted to this board and labeled A2.1 dated 8/23/2024 by Shopper Architects. This board has reviewed the architectural design of this building in the context of a lot and the art corridor. The design is overall consistent with the expectation of the appearance of business structures on your board. The design aesthetic promoted by this board in the comprehensive plan is further compatible with the orientation of the building on the lot and the overall lot improvements. Further recommendation condition of this approval is that the applicant be required to return to the planning board for final review of architecture and oversight. Joe, second. All in favor? Okay, thank you.
Very much.
Neville Plumbing?
Good evening, my name is Neil Zinsmeyer, Naparel Consulting, the site engineers on behalf of People Plumbing. From the last meeting, we heard your comments. Yes. My first name Neil, N-E-A-L. Last name Zinsmeyer, Zinsmeyer. Very well. Last time we were here, the board had some comments, concerns about the driveway, the amount of asphalt on our plan. So what we did was provided a new set of plans showing the truck turning movements, if you could bring those up for access. If you actually go to the next sheet, you'll see right here, we have two truck movements, trailer movement showing turning around for vehicles here, and then we have an overhead door in the back, which is why we need that driveway to extend to the back, and that's why we need that driveway so wide, just for circulation for box trucks and trailers that Sam and his company brings to the site. And then some other things were landscaping. We noticed existing trees to be removed in the front for new street trees. And we did some additional landscaping here along the building because we did reduce the pavement a little bit, just enough to allow us that full circulation for the trucks and the box trucks. And I think that was the majority of the board's comments. Happy to see other, is there any questions?
Yeah, great.
How much you can do it.
Okay.
There's not much we could do. We just tried to minimize the asphalt as much as we could.
All right, then we have a motion to approve the site plan last dated 9/5/2024, revised 9/10/2024, with the following findings and conditions. Findings: this is an existing building in use which seeks to improve its site by any previously gravel for its parking lot and improving the site layout. The bulk of the building operates as warehouse. There's also some related industrial use. The applicant has provided a parking table which shows that at a required code count, 1 space per 500 square feet. The site is adequately parked with 25 parking spaces as shown. This board has reviewed Onondaga County Planning Board referral of September 11, 2024, which found no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications from the project. The SCAF was reviewed by this board dated 7/29/2024, and this board issues a negative secret declaration of some listed action. Potentially, given the partial use of this building for warehouse, a lesser count, but code could be considered. However, this applicant has advised that it requires and desires 25 spaces on the site, and the site accommodates it. The applicant has shown traffic and truck turning movements and egress on the site. This board finds that the plan so shown will work for the movements. Conditions: the baseline of parking for this building in use is 25 spaces and cannot be modified without further site plan review. This approval is made with the condition that this approval is plans. We submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson. The applicant requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant in order for a certificate of occupancy or compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work or materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to Town of DeWitt Code Section 192-22. Okay. Joe, second, Kevin, all in favor? Thank you.
Clarification on state. I still want to be signed.
It would be at the
Yes.
loading dock.
Yes. Yep.
Clarification.
It's on here.
Okay.
What road?
So we modified a little bit on the canopy, just shifted it over to accommodate, there's an existing light, which you can see in the renderings just right here. And the canopy was blocking it previously, so we just shifted it over a foot, so it's no longer gonna be blocking that site lighting, otherwise no change proposed to that. We also adjusted the survey, so that it reflected the proper lot lines or, setbacks for a corner lot. And for the most part, those are the biggest changes to the site. Other than that, I sent along the typical schedule that they use for deliveries, which no changes proposed to that. They will have a vehicle parked, which I added a couple drawings toward the end to account for. There will be one. Yep, so they'll have this vehicle parked here overnight, while, when it's not active, and then this vehicle down here will be just doing day deliveries. It's not their vehicle, just delivered by a different, arm of the tenant company. That'll just be in and out, versus this vehicle is owned by the tenant and will be parked there in the evenings when they're not doing deliveries. So I added a few vehicle movement plans to make sure that all works, everyone can navigate. And that's about it, for the updates. Anyone has any questions?
To approve the site plan last dated 9/5/2024 with the following findings and conditions. Findings: the applicant has presented a plan to add a loading dock area to the rear of his facility. This is a minor site plan change and does not markedly change how the site has been utilized. This board is primarily concerned with the turning movements of the trucks expected to ingress and egress from the site and use the loading dock. The turning movements provided shown can be managed within the confines of the site, and including the egress and egress easement which adjoins to and is utilized by the premises to the west. This is an existing site. No existing parking spaces are taken up by the new loading dock. Existing parking spaces on the site are 9 spaces. The current code requires 19 spaces. However, inasmuch as the use of the site is not changing, the tenant is not changing, there is no change in the intensity of the use of the site. 9 spaces are sufficient to be considered the baseline of parking for this site. This board has reviewed the Anadarko County Planning Board referral of 8/21/2024, which found no significant adverse intercommunity or countywide implications from the project. The SEAF was reviewed by this board dated 7/23/2024, and this board issues a negative secret declaration on listed action. Conditions: 9 parking spaces on the site are the baseline of parking for the site. It cannot be modified without further site plan approval. This approval is made with further condition that this approval is for plans and other submitted documents, site plan documents that have been signed by the planning board chairperson and the applicant. It requires that all of the work shown be completed by the applicant ready for a certificate of occupancy and compliance to be issued. Any proposed changes, additions, or deletions to the scope of work and materials from the site plan documents are not approved and are subject to further site plan review pursuant to Town of Newton Code, section 192-122. Jenny? And all in favor? Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we have Salvative Petroleum.
Good evening, I'm Everett Fisher, with Navarella Consulting as well on behalf of Solvency Petroleum. They are looking to move into 110 Boss Road, which was previously owned by Landon Air Shipping. And so right now, in the short term, they are looking to predominantly use this smaller building here for truck maintenance and servicing. It's my understanding that this meeting will mostly be to field questions from you guys and see what we can do to move towards.
Have the whole site, they're only using one building?
Sorry?
They're gonna have the whole site, but only use one building here.
For now, right. There are plans to use the rest of the site in the future, but for now, we do want to focus on that small building. Everything else is more of a long term.
What are the long-term plans for personal life?
Jack can probably speak to that better than I can.
Speak to it, Johnny. All right. Hello, I'm Phil Jakes Johnson. I have the privilege of owning Salvins Petroleum with my wife. Owned it since 2002. We're over on by the railroad bridge. Across Hines is our neighbor to the south. The junkyard across the street is our neighbor to the north, and a Superfund waste site is our neighbor. And we handle chemicals, and we're a hazardous waste facility ourselves. I dress like this because I always say I'm a truck driver that bought the company. I had to protect my job. My brother sold the business to somebody else 25 years ago. I kicked me out. So I've been able to hold it onto the job. And so, you know, we looked at, you know, as the company has grown. When I came on board, we were just 4 people. The business has been around for 75 years, and it grew into the 60s, and then in the 70s, it started to decline. My brother bought it for Exxon, customer. I was a school teacher, substitute school teacher, and but I also had a tractor trailer license from my days in county highway. So we got together, and you know, we started to grow the business. As we grew, we needed to repair our own trucks. So right now we lease. We have 4 mechanics, and Jeff here is my service manager. And so we've been repairing our own trucks since 2018. We expanded, we started taking in other people's trucks. And I looked at it and said, no, this is nice. We have a little 3-bay garage down here, 4-bay garage. And so, you know, we're renting. Dennis, is a great landlord, but doesn't want to sell. It's all stupid investors. So Ed came to me and said, hey, I would like to buy Lost Road. It's or eventually buy Lost Road. It's a great deal. He's got a great seller. So he gave me a 5-year lease. We've negotiated this 5-year lease is signed. Well, of course, I can't move in. But I got 20 more months left on that lease down the 6th North. But you know, the plan, I have a vision that you know, I look at that property and I own a food distribution business, Lorenzo's Wholesale Foods, like that. And maybe we think those loading docks, you know, maybe repurpose them, maybe put some freezers in and stuff like that. There's a shortage of freezer space and cooler space and stuff. There's an opportunity. We you know, potentially we could sell diesel fuel there to the clients that come in. You know, I'd like it to be more user friendly than just a repair shop. We're talking long-term plans. And so, you know, maybe I have a food truck. Maybe we'll put our food truck on. Sell to the people that come in to want their trucks repaired. Provide towing service. Provide jobs, provide that. So right now, whatever the property is assessed at is too low. We need to raise the taxes. I mean, I was proud. When we had it
You
built
can take part of
before.
mine if you want.
But I'm not like most businesses. Trust me. My wife says that, Phil, you think a lot different than most people. So what I said was, like, we started off, we had just one building. When I got there in 78 with my brother. And we added building 2, it was already there, we reconverted, upgraded. We had building 3, it was Thompson Land Co. Parties Unlimited, maybe remember some of those names. Yeah, okay, that's now our hazardous waste there, we upgraded that. Then we put building 4, we recycle around the Northeast, we're one of the largest recyclers in the Northeast. And I remember when the town assessor came over, he says, that's a nice building. Texas. That's all? He goes, yeah, I think double will be fair. So, okay, that's right. Well, I'm fine. So I look at, I don't even know what the taxes are. But whatever they are, they're probably pretty too low. Because you got all that land sitting there vacant. And I wanna make it something that, you know, I can be proud of. You know, just moving the truck in there, take the 3-bay garage and fix it. That's just the short-term plan. Gonna take Tompkins Bank. My lender agrees with me, to say, vision this. Give it on, and they probably will. They will, believe me, they love property, they love property, you know, so I'm just saying, so long term, I want the town of DeWitt to feel. Solids and petroleum, like the town of Salina feels about solids and petroleum. They want me to buy the junkyard across the street, not 1405 across the street. No, I will, I'll get there. So I'll probably do truck parking across the street from us. And then, you know, if people need things repaired, so I got a good plan, got a good plan. Thank you. I'll take any questions, sorry.
And Sullivan's.
I didn't know if he answered the question.
That's right. Sometimes I'm in the air, I'll get room. I get a
I
big plan.
went on vacation last year.
So we got Solvent and Petroleum as the name, but I've heard freezers, food trucks, what actually is the business gonna be in this spot?
Oh, in the spot, repairing trucks,
Just repairing trucks?
just repairing trucks.
In that one little building, but what
And then,
about
yeah.
What
the
about the big
larger
buildings?
They call it pretty good size, it's 3 stories, it's 3 bays. No, it's not.
compared to the other one?
Yeah.
Which one are we talking?
The one right in the center there, loading dock.
That's what the.
Here, I have
The terminal.
printed out.
Well, not the loading docks, no, not the loading docks.
Yes, the loading.
The one right in the center.
Is that the one in the center?
No, no, no. And-
The green.
No.
Yeah, that's the 3 bay truck.
No.
Yeah.
This small.
Phil,
The smaller.
it's the docks, Phil.
All right.
The docks.
They're asking.
Oh, they're asking about the docks. Well, the docks, okay, so you've got this space. What do you want to do with it? I'm not gonna be land there and taking freight in and taking freight out. But I look at it and I go. See, because I run those wholesale foods, I bought poultry, fish, I'm buying food companies, and I own a couple of restaurants, I'm close to buying a couple of restaurants. So I'm thinking, okay, and I had Deli Boy and Solly closed, that was a big thing, so there's a shortage of freezer space, I know this, for a fact, in just getting in the food business the last few years, in cooler space. So I figure I could repurpose that, you know, you got this good solid floor. Your circular roof, then section it off, you know, and you can store food. No, I mean, obviously, the FDA, or not the FDA. Yes. So there's a regulatory agency.
There's one for everything.
Yeah, I like to own businesses, but my goal is to no longer operate. Okay, so I'm looking to buy, what's the town? Is East Border Drive, is that the town of DeWitt? Or is that the city of Syracuse, south of Mid, north Mid?
It would be close.
Yeah, I
think that's their.
Oh, sure, okay, well, I'm buying a business there, so I didn't know if I'd be dealing with the town of DeWitt there. So I want to do some bookings there, East Border. Again, do you have any other questions?
Hi, Jamie here from Heaven. So is this a commercial garage, the small building right now? Is that what I understand?
It was, yes,
Okay, so, and that's what it's going to continue to be.
right,
Exactly.
Okay. So we'll have, just so you know, we have certain regulations about commercial garages. So we'll have to look at that and see how this conforms. Are there any architecturals yet?
oh, we just want to move in.
This is just what we've got here.
Right, we just, yeah, we're registered as a commercial garage. Primarily, right now it's running about 50-50. 50% of it is our own trucks. And 50% of it is outside trucks. But we're registered, you know, as a registered repair shop.
And the other building is vacant.
Yep, the whole property's vacant.
No, I mean, it's going to continue to be vacant for the time being.
Until I come before the town with some great ideas. How to raise the tax on, blah, blah.
But at the moment, your only
At
plan.
the moment, I'm not moving in. I'm not moving in. We're not gonna touch it.
No, I understand that. You're just not going to occupy it either. Is that correct?
There's really nothing to occupy, right? You know,
Okay.
we're not gonna, you know, no, we're not gonna occupy it. There's gonna be no business activity there.
What was here before?
A trucking company, Land Air. And they, you know, they had five terminals, and unfortunately, they went bankrupt. And this is the last terminal. The owner who bought all five is trying to move. He's been very patient with me. I mean,
I think everyone has to be.
oh, gosh, my wife, you believe me, you know, believe me. She wasn't upset that I would be late for dinner. She's okay. You know, so,
My understanding is vacant for some time.
yeah,
The building has been broken into.
oh,
It's been robbed of its copper and the water meters, so I mean, the sooner we can get this back and up, it's gonna benefit.
it's a shame.
Absolutely.
It's a shame.
Is the building damaged right now?
No, that's the one we're going through. Yeah.
I mean, if it is damaged, we'll fix this.
What about oil water separators and stuff like that?
If they're there, we'll use them. Oh, my company, Environment South Burn, we go around and pump out oil water separators. We have a vac truck, waste oil truck. You know,
Well, if you're a registered garage, you're gonna need signage and all that kind of
oh
stuff.
yeah, we have it down in our thing. It's the green sign.
Right,
Yeah, it's up.
but there's codes in the town for those things.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
I'm
Eric,
sure-
can you pull up the Google?
What I think what we're getting at is existing, they may not meet the current codes. And so we're just asking, like, what are you gonna renovate in the place to move in? Like, will you be bringing the drainage, or if you have interior, drainage up to date? Like,
This is the
what do you-
garage.
Yeah,
Okay.
the small building. What do you do?
I will, well,
Or other than just moving in, or is it move-in ready, even though it's been vacant for however long?
I've never been in. Okay, But I just know that,
Can I just add to that?
You can, please.
This Land Air was doing the exact same thing that we're looking to do in the event. They repaired their own trucks, their own trailers. The floor drain is pre-existing. To move in certainly needs a lot of loving and cleaning. But as far as changing the actual operation of the building, we're doing the same thing that Land Air was doing. Right, but you'd have to be code compliant with oil water separators and all that kind of stuff, so.
okay, not a problem. We got architects, we got
Yeah.
people, we got it, no problem.
But the garage is to the left underneath the Boss Road sign, so you just gotta go up a little further. A little further,
The white building there, yep.
that's the garage. It's to the east of the terminal building.
And it still has the address of 110?
Yeah,
The dock in the warehouse is part of the 4 acres. But I do believe it has a separate mailing address.
I don't think so. I've only known it as 110 Boss Road.
I was gonna say, so similar to one of the other ones, that we talked about recently, there's no curb.
That's what I was.
Yeah.
Right. We'd love to see the access is tightened up and pulled. They're pretty wide open right now.
Fine.
Have some landscaping in front and street trees. Sure. Take care of some
I
drainage
go
right now.
around, I used to be, we have a down at the highway. So I go around and pick up trash. And as I have with my grandson, we picked up trash at the 1812 cemetery. Grandson, son, daughter, sometimes. And, then the West Street offering, where I go, I said, oh, I'm gonna go pick up trash. So he's really good with it. So, I'm all about landscaping, trust me.
Because right now. Code requires 80% lot coverage.
Mhm.
And it looks like you're higher than that. If there's anything you can do to make the site a little greener, drainage.
We can-
you're gonna meet the code.
We can develop a vehicle circulation plan and then from there decide what pavement is unnecessary and then replace it with green space.
Yeah.
And then with the vehicle circulation plan, we can also tighten up the curb.
I was curious, if we put a grass roof on, that also counts. Well, I mean, the county has grass roof.
You don't wanna do that,
What?
you don't wanna do that.
Why, is this more expensive?
You'd have to modify all of your buildings, put the structure and
Okay,
pull the
they're
dirt
tough
up
to
to
maintain.
Yeah. I'm not opposed.
Is this a town road or a county road?
I would say it's,
But we'll look it up real quick.
I would say it's a town road.
Well, yeah, that actually Doug knows the answer. That's why I got him.
I think it's a town,
Or-
yes, town road, yeah.
And when I worked at County Highway, I don't recall ever fixing, working on that road.
Mhm. So I think that, and someone from Naparella is there, but I can't see who it is, and I,
Sorry, I don't know where I have to say this.
Anyway, hi. So, no, that's okay. I just wanted to address, I mean, obviously, the way that we organize things is we have the concept, which is what this is.
Mhm.
And then we have to put it into the code review to
Right.
see what needs to be done to meet the code
Mhm.
and the design guidelines and so forth. And again, we need to look at our code relative to commercial garage because that's
Mhm.
what this is now. Or what is proposed. So there's some conditions and some things we need with respect to that. So
Mhm.
I think I got the gist of it. I think everyone heard it. So we have to get it into code and engineering and legal review
Mhm.
and get some comments to you about
Yeah,
what's
sounds
going to
great.
make this site, rather than having your engineer just willy-nilly start doing stuff, right?
Mhm.
Let's talk about what needs to be done, because you don't want to do unnecessary things and you don't want to spend money where you don't have to, and you want to do what needs to be done, right? Or what we propose. So and I did hear Alana talk about the curb cut. I think that's going to be a big issue.
Mhm.
And about closing that off in some way. So we'll have to talk about that as well. So we'll get together internally next week to try to put together some comments for the site and how it works. And then we'll get back to you and try to keep this moving. Looks,
Sounds good.
like, of course, the town's interested in having a project on that site and not have it go to pot, so to speak, and that'll be our plan.
One last question, there's signage proposed.
Currently, no, well, sign.
That separately, yes. If you want to do a monument sign, that would be part of your site plan.
Okay.
Like a freestanding.
Like with flowers around it. I'm on board. When you go by where the corporate office is, 619 Fayette Street. I take care of all the flowers in front and all that. I like to do that. And I also pick up the trash and cross West Fayette, like where they had some, I'm really big in tree trash that they don't get together.
Busy guy, Phil.
I enjoy it. It's easy. I married well. I married up 49 years ago.
When he said he didn't care about what his taxes were, I was like, his wife pays the. That's what I said.
Oh, yes, my wife worries about taxes and I go, oh, come on, Amy, just worry about it. Remember, we were one time county workers.
Any other questions?
Welcome to the town.
Believe me, I enjoy it. I enjoy life and, it's why I like to buy businesses and why I plan on being at least $50 million in debt by the time I'm 75. What? I want to have at least $75 or $80 million of assets. We're on the way.
Yes, enough assets to pay the town to a tax.
Oh, no problem,
That's number one.
no problem. And the curb.
Yes, the curb cuts. Well, thank you, Phil.
Thank you. I enjoyed it. We'll be back.
Get back to you with the comments.
Okay. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Motion to adjourn.
Have a good night.
Motion to adjourn. You can say it. Second. Okay.
Oh, Leah, who did the motion to adjourn? Leah? Oh. Who always does?
Kevin,
I do.
and as he's saying it, he's on his way out the door.
He's like the road runner.
Are you guys gonna do?
No, so, he motioned it, I seconded it. Yeah,
No, I say usually.
and then everyone was in favor.